Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. This is one of those moves that shakes the entire landscape of the AFC North, and honestly, it's nothing short of a game changer. The Steelers, always known for their strong defense and a solid core on offense, have just made a bold move that could redefine their season. They traded for Garrett Wilson from the New York Jets, and let me tell you, this isn't just a rental piece or a depth addition. No, this is a statement move. The Steelers are clearly signaling their intent to contend seriously this year and beyond, and Wilson's arrival is a huge part of that puzzle. Wilson, for those of you who may not be fully up to date, is a young, talented receiver who's been making waves since entering the league. He's been ranked among the top 100 prospects coming out, and his career stats are nothing to scoff at. Over his time with the Jets, he's accumulated 315 receptions for 644 yards and 18 touchdowns. Those numbers might not jump off the page compared to some of the league's elite, but when you analyze his yards per reception, a solid 11. 6 yards and his catch rate of 60%. You see a player who's capable of making big plays and creating separation on the field. And that's exactly what the Steelers need right now, especially considering their current roster and offensive scheme. What makes Wilson particularly intriguing is his recent 2025 season, where, over just 6 games, he's already amassed 36 receptions for 395 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's an average of about 11 yards per catch, with a yards per route figure of approximately 2.4 yards, but what stands out more is his ability to break tackles. He's averaged 4.0 yards after catch per reception, which indicates his agility and fight after the catch. Despite dealing with a knee injury in Week 5, his overall profile remains impressive. His metrics from PFF with a grade of 84. 6 and EPA per target of plus 0.48 suggest he's a highly efficient player when healthy, capable of elevating an offense. And here's the kicker. The trade involved the Steelers giving up a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. That's a significant investment, but one that signals their serious intentions. The Jets, on the other hand, are in a different spot. With a 2-4 record and a defense giving up an average of 26 points per game as of mid-September, they've become a seller. They're in rebuild mode, especially with questions about their quarterback situation and doubts about their ability to contend in the short term. They've also been cautious about aging veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and with a lackluster start, they decided to free up draft capital to build for the future. Now let's talk a little about what Wilson's addition means for the Steelers. It's not just about one receiver, it's about the overall potential of the offense. The Steelers already have a core of talented receivers like George Pickens, who's shown flashes of brilliance and a knack for contested catches, plus the reliable Deontay Johnson. But adding Garrett Wilson creates a new dynamic. His ability to stretch the field, combined with his agility and knack for yards after the catch, makes him an ideal complement to the existing weapons and a nightmare for defenses trying to match up. When you compare Wilson to Pickens, the stats and on-field impact are quite revealing. Wilson tends to be more efficient in contested situations, with about 2 more contested catches per game, and his overall efficiency in route running is about 9% higher, which is significant for a receiver who's still relatively young and ascending. The Steelers' offensive scheme, which emphasizes quick passes and yards after catch, aligns perfectly with Wilson's skill set. Imagine the possibilities with a quarterback like Kenny Pickett, who's been developing steadily, throwing to a receiver who can turn a simple route into a big gain. And speaking of the quarterback, the Steelers are in a unique position right now. Kenny Pickett has been showing promise, and with the offense now having more explosive options, they could elevate their scoring and overall offensive efficiency. Wilson's addition could be the spark that takes the Steelers from a decent team to a serious playoff contender, especially if he continues to develop and stays healthy. Remember, this move also signals the Steelers' confidence in their offensive line and coaching staff to maximize Wilson's talents. Now let's consider the broader impact within the AFC North. The division has been fiercely competitive, with teams like the Ravens and Bengals always lurking as threats. The Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, have been explosive on offense, while the Bengals rely heavily on their dynamic passing game with Joe Burrow. For the Steelers, bolstering their receiving core with a player like Wilson could be the missing piece to their puzzle. It could give them the offensive firepower needed to challenge for the division and make a serious push in the postseason. This move also shifts the narrative about the Jets, who are now clearly in a rebuild mode. With Garrett Wilson leaving, they're betting on their younger players and draft picks to develop, and perhaps they're looking ahead to a future where they can rebuild around their core. But for the Steelers, they're all in right now. They're trying to capitalize on this window, especially with the potential of having a balanced team that can run the ball effectively, and now, with Wilson, throw it deep and stretch defenses vertically. Looking ahead, the expectations for Wilson in Pittsburgh are sky high. Fans are already excited about the potential chemistry with Kenny Pickett, and the coaching staff is undoubtedly eager to incorporate him into their game plan. If Wilson stays healthy and continues to develop, it's reasonable to project that he could add over 300 yards and 11 touchdowns this season, boosting the Steelers' offense significantly. His addition could also lead to about a 17% increase in EPA per pass, which is a massive leap in efficiency. Now let's talk about the Super Bowl odds. Before this trade, the Steelers were considered long shots, with odds around plus 4,500 to win it all. But with Wilson now in the fold, those odds could tighten dramatically, maybe even as low as plus 1,500. This is the type of move that can turn a team into a dark horse contender, especially if the offense clicks and the defense continues to play at a high level. Wilson's presence could be the X factor that pushes Pittsburgh over the edge, making them a team to watch in the AFC playoff picture. To wrap it all up, this trade is a clear statement from the Steelers. They're not just trying to compete, they want to dominate. Wilson's youth, talent, and potential fit perfectly into their vision of a balanced, explosive team that can contend for championships. For the Jets, it's a clear indication that they're shifting gears, focusing on building for the future and trusting their young talent to grow. But for the Steelers, this move symbolizes confidence, ambition, and a relentless pursuit of greatness. It's the kind of move that could define their season and maybe even their legacy for years to come. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this bold trade? Do you believe Garrett Wilson will be the piece that finally pushes Pittsburgh into Super Bowl contention? How do you see this affecting the division race and the AFC as a whole? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news, analysis, and all the inside stories. Thanks for being here, and as always, let's keep that Steelers pride alive.